Have you ever had one of those moments, maybe just a feeling, or sometimes I guess a whole series of things, where the world just feels off, you know?
Yeah.
Like the inexplicable sort of intrudes into your everyday life.
Oh, absolutely. Those times when something happens that defies any easy explanation. It leaves you not just scratching your head, but really questioning what you think you know about reality.
Exactly. We all seem to have stories like that, or we know someone who does, right? Something that just doesn't quite fit.
Hmm.
But what happens when these aren't just whispers or like a fleeting feeling, but really vivid, documented encounters?
Yeah, things caught on camera, maybe, or sounds you can't explain, or even, well, even things that leave a physical mark. That's when it gets really compelling.
It's precisely those intrusions, those moments when maybe the veil thins a bit, that really make you look closer, doesn't it?
It does. And these aren't just spooky tales for entertainment,
Hmm.
They're often profound, sometimes really life-altering experiences.
Hmm.
They force people to reevaluate everything, their whole understanding of the world.
And today, we are embarking on a truly wild deep dive. We've got a collection of experiences here that really span the whole spectrum of the unexplained.
What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Okay, so we're talking shadowy figures in the wilderness, maybe guarding something, elusive cryptids that just shatter your assumptions about nature, persistent house spirits, sometimes with very specific agendas.
Right, like they're attached to something.
Exactly. And we'll even get into what seems like an extraterrestrial encounter with photos and everything right in someone's backyard.
Wow. Okay, so quite a range.
Yeah, prepare yourselves because this
Yeah.
one is going to get wonderfully, fascinatingly strange.
Right, I'm ready. Our mission today, then, is to unpack this stack of detailed firsthand accounts. And these aren't just like quick anecdotes, they're rich narratives.
Mm.
They really challenge our conventional understanding of what's real.
Right. And we're not here to necessarily prove or disprove anything definitively.
No, exactly. It's more about exploring these stories with an open mind,
Yeah.
trying to understand the profound impact they have on the people who experience them, and critically, looking for patterns,
Hmm.
connections within this bizarre tapestry of paranormal phenomena.
What can these incredibly diverse encounters tell us about the nature of the unknown, maybe the boundaries of consciousness, our own place in this much bigger, more mysterious universe?
It's about trying to discern the underlying truths, perhaps, what these stories might reveal about that thin veil between our world and, well, whatever else might be out there.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the heart of the unknown. Our first story takes us back. New Year's Eve, 2009, at a remote ranch.
Okay.
Picture this. A couple, they've just taken a tour, and they pull our narrator aside. They go down by a fence line, kind of away from everyone else.
Right, for privacy.
Yeah, and they reveal their secret plan. They intend to sneak back onto the property later that night.
Uh-oh. Up to no good, sounds like.
Maybe. Our narrator was intrigued, asked them to share any photos or experiences if they did go back, and boy, did they have an experience right then and there.
Oh, even before they went back.
Yes. As they stood there, talking privately by this corner where two fences met, the husband just casually snapped a flash photo.
Okay.
What came back on the digital screen? It sent chills down their spines. The unmistakable silhouette of a man.
Whoa. Just like that.
Just like that. But here's the catch, the really bizarre detail. This figure was completely invisible to the human eye at the time.
So nobody saw anything when he took the picture?
Nothing, just a stark, dark shadow in the flash, standing on the other side of the fence. And it looked like he had something. Maybe a cigarette or a toothpick in his mouth.
That's incredible. So an entity captured solely by flash photography in a spot where it wasn't visually present to anyone.
Right.
That immediately throws open these huge questions about perception, doesn't it? Like, are there beings or energies that exist on a different frequency, or maybe in another dimension, just outside our normal visible spectrum?
And they only occasionally bleed through, or maybe, like here, get revealed by technology, like a camera flash, maybe something in the near-infrared.
Exactly. And this wasn't just random either. The narrator immediately connected it to something similar from the 1990s.
Oh, really? Same place?
Same location, yes. A previous homeowner, same spot, also caught a humanoid figure on flash photography. They described it as having a flat face and large yellow eyes, leaning against the same fence.
Wow. Decades apart, same phenomenon, same spot. That consistency is, yeah, incredibly compelling.
It really is. It makes you lean away from just coincidence.
So here's where it gets, I think, really interesting and, yeah, a little chilling. Was this the same entity from the 90s? Just showing up again?
That's the question.
And if it was it? Like, listening in? on their private conversation about sneaking back later.
That's a creepy thought.
The source strongly implies it, a sentient awareness, even hints, you know he was, and boy, did he have a surprise waiting for them.
Okay, so that suggests it's not just a passive apparition. It's more like a territorial guardian or some entity with a keen, almost human-like interest in what people are doing on its turf.
And that detail, the cigarette or toothpick,
Right.
it's such a mundane human thing, but from something totally invisible. Imagine that feeling, knowing you were watched unknowingly, and then bam, a flash of light reveals this hidden truth.
It's like peeling back a layer of reality for just a second.
Yeah,
And that consistency you mentioned, caught on film in the 90s, again in 2009, both times invisible but revealed by flash, that implies a consistent way of manifesting,
right.
which supports the idea of an enduring presence. An intelligence may be capable of memory, maybe even monitoring human actions or intentions.
The idea of a territorial guardian, what exactly is it guarding? And what happens if it reacts to human intent, like the narrator suggested, the intent to do no good?
It points to maybe a deep, maybe ancient connection to that land. It definitely sets a very specific, almost personal, and certainly wary tone for what happened next.
Yeah, because that initial photo, that warning maybe, was just the beginning. The surprise that the entity seemingly had planned, it wasn't long in coming.
Okay, so they went back.
A few days later, yeah. The couple, apparently undeterred, returned to the ranch as planned, while standing near the very spot where that invisible guy photo was taken.
Oh, they went right back to the same place. Bold move.
Right. The wife experienced this intense, undeniable physical sensation. Her hair literally stood on end, and she just knew instinctively, primally.
What did she say?
Her exact words were, "Something or someone is right behind me, and we need to leave immediately."
Wow. Primal warning.
Totally. As they quickly started walking back towards their vehicle, they felt it undeniably followed. That feeling escalated fast into just raw fear. They picked up the pace.
My bear.
Then, out of nowhere, an estimated dozen coyotes appeared, just a few yards behind us, forcing them into a full-on sprint.
A dozen coyotes. Okay, that's terrifying in itself. But after that warning,
Exactly. The sequence is critical, isn't it? That powerful, intuitive warning, the feeling of being followed, and then this high-stakes physical pursuit.
it raises huge questions. Was it purely psychological? Their anxiety amplified by the photo? Or was there a genuine, though invisible, threat? Did it manifest the coyotes somehow? Or maybe just use the idea of coyotes to trigger the chase?
Because the truly perplexing part, the chilling part, is the contradiction. They vividly heard coyotes panting right behind us at our feet.
You could hear them that clearly.
That's what they said. But when they instinctively turned to look,
Nothing.
they saw nothing.
That is astonishing to hear them so clearly, the panting, the pursuit, right there, and then turn and see absolutely nothing.
It's almost like a ghost hunt with incredibly realistic sound effects.
Right. It could point to a phantasmagorical manifestation, where the sound is real, visceral, but the source isn't physically there in our visible spectrum.
Or maybe an auditory hallucination, but so vivid and shared by both of them that felt utterly real.
Or, even creepier, an entity that can cloak itself from sight, but still produce those terrifying visceral sounds, the kind that trigger that primal fight or flight.
Yeah, the detail that fear sank in highlights how immediate and overwhelming it was. It really makes you wonder, was the invisible ranch figure orchestrating this? Was this its surprise?
The deliberate, targeted nature of it feels personal, planned, almost.
Mm.
And an experience like that would just shatter the lines between reality and illusion. You'd question your own senses, your sanity even.
For sure.
The fact they heard them so vividly, causing a full flight response but never saw them, and got back to the truck without ever seeing them, suggests something highly controlled, sophisticated, deliberate.
A calculated psychological torment.
Exactly, pushing them to their physical and psychological limits, but leaving no conventional physical trace. Classic high strangeness.
So the couple, utterly terrified, they raced back to their motel, hoping for safety, maybe some peace. But as they found out pretty quickly, the night's strangeness was far from over.
Oh no, it followed them.
It seems like it. They reached room 119 around 1:30 a.m., totally exhausted, shaken. Then, at 3 a.m., the walls of their motel room began shaking violently.
Shaking, like an earthquake.
Not quite. It wasn't a quick tremor. This lasted for over 10 minutes.
10 minutes of shaking walls.
Yeah. Their first thought was, okay, noisy neighbor, maybe a party. But here's the kicker. They heard no talking, no music, No other sounds you'd expect.
Which is weird because motel walls are usually paper thin.
Exactly. They'd heard conversations from both sides of their room all week, so the silence, combined with the violent shaking, was just completely wrong.
The timing, again, is just exceptionally compelling here.
Yeah.
Right after the ranch encounter, their failed return.
Mhm.
It strongly suggests a direct continuation.
Yeah.
The consequence.
Right. The narrator even explicitly links it, says, and I'm quoting here, "Honestly, I don't believe the motel was haunted. I wanted to check if there was a history. I also think someone at the ranch had a bit of fun with them, kept them from getting a good night's sleep. After all, they were the only people ever to admit being up to no good. Wanting to go back, you keep us awake, we'll keep you awake."
So, a retaliatory haunting,
Yeah.
orchestrated by the ranch entity. That's quite something. And the fact it was isolated just to their room, despite thin walls and other guests reporting nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mundane explanations seem really unlikely.
And the torment didn't start with the shaking. The next day, around 5:00 a.m., a loud humming sound filled their room. Lasted almost 30 minutes.
Humming. Like machinery.
That's what they thought. But what was truly bizarre was how localized it was. It was loud inside the room, undeniable, but the moment they stepped outside their door,
Gone.
completely inaudible, silent hallway. They checked for a laundry room, maybe an ice machine. Nope. Laundry was on the other side of motel. Sound wasn't coming from there.
Weird.
When they checked out, they asked about noise complaints. Anyone else hear anything? Nope. Nothing.
So only them.
Only them. Then, our narrator, pursuing this thread, asked the motel attendant about Room 119's history. And get this, the attendant admitted it used to have a history, poltergeist or other paranormal activity, though significantly not recently.
Okay, that adds another layer. A room with a dormant history suddenly activated right after their experience.
It really seems like a perfectly orchestrated, targeted torment, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
The dual phenomena, physical shaking, auditory humming, classic poltergeist stuff. Nosy ghost, right?
Yeah.
Often intelligent, disruptive, responsive.
It's confined entirely to their room.
Right. But the critical link seems to be the timing. Immediately after the ranch transgression, it just underscores that psychological effect. You can't escape it, even when you leave the location. It suggests an entity with reach, able to project its influence.
Yeah, that ranch guardian had a long reach, it seems.
Indeed.
Okay, so from that targeted, maybe punitive haunting, we're going to shift gears now, dramatically, to a different kind of wilderness mystery. One that leaves, well, more than just unease. A deep, lasting scar.
Okay, where are we heading?
This story came out of a totally ordinary conversation. Bass Pro Shops, Central Florida. You know how those happen.
Huh, yeah. You go for hooks, leave with a life story.
Totally. So a 28-year-old customer is buying a compound bow, and he ends up sharing this traumatic secret he'd held on to for 12 years, since he was 16.
12 years. Wow. What made him share it?
He only opened up after the store employee admitted his belief in Bigfoot, shared his own sighting out west. That created the connection, the trust.
Ah, that makes sense. Finding someone who wouldn't just dismiss it.
Exactly. So this incredible encounter happened at the Philmont Boy Scout Ranch in New Mexico.
Philmont, wow, that's serious wilderness. Huge place.
Huge, 140,000 acres, over 200 square miles, southern end of the Rockies. And this guy and his friend were lost there for 2 terrifying nights after hiking over 100 miles.
16 years old, lost for 2 nights in Philmont. That's
Oh.
terrifying enough, even without anything paranormal. The vulnerability there is immense.
Totally. And Philmont isn't exactly a walk in the park. It has a documented history of serious bear attacks.
Oh, yeah.
5 attacks in 2 weeks back in '86, 4 more in 2000, and this really harrowing one in 2010, a 14-year-old kid bitten and dragged by a bear while sleeping. Apparently it smelled a candy bar.
Jeez. Okay, so the threat of bears is incredibly real there. A known significant danger, which makes introducing an unknown massive threat even more terrifying. They were already in survival mode.
Exactly. That existing danger just amplifies everything, puts them in this hyper-aware state. And the fact he kept it secret for 12 years, it really shows the depth of the trauma and, the stigma around cryptid sightings.
Absolutely. It took that connection with a fellow hunter, somebody not only believed but had hunted similar areas to create that safe space.
You can just imagine being lost, exhausted, cold, knowing bears are a real threat, how that could heighten your senses, but maybe also, distort perceptions. What's your take on that psychological state?
Well, it creates what you might call a psychological crucible, right?
Right.
The mind, under that kind of extreme duress, is hypervigilant. It's incredibly susceptible to both heightened awareness and potential misinterpretation of ambiguous things.
Sure.
However, when two individuals experience the same vivid, inexplicable event in such detail under those conditions, that lends significant weight to the claim.
Right. Less likely to be just one person hallucinating.
Exactly. The shared experience, the mutual terror, makes it far less likely. And it's a testament to finding that sympathetic ear, finally, to process something so deeply traumatic that had been bottled up for a decade.
Yeah.
The way he still describes it with such intensity, it speaks volumes about its impact.
So with that stage-set, formidable environment, vulnerable kids, let's get into the heart of their second night. Still lost, freezing cold, they made a small fire. A decision the narrator thinks might have actually saved our lives by keeping them together.
Okay, smart move.
As they sat there, huddled by the fire, probably thinking the worst, they both realized with this sickening certainty that they weren't alone.
Chills. How did they know?
Standing quietly next to a tree at the edge of our campsite was a massive, hairy creature.
Massive.
Hmm.
And just appeared.
Yeah. What's truly unsettling is they hadn't heard or seen it approach. No sound. It was just there.
The stealth of something described as massive? That's astounding. How does something that big move so silently through dense woods?
Right. No rustle of leaves, no snapping twigs.
It challenges conventional animal behavior. It suggests, well, an intelligence, maybe an adaptation we just don't understand. A creature not just large, but incredibly adept at concealment, silent movement.
And the fact that both of them, already hyper-aware because they're lost and scared of bears, both realized it at the same time.
That strengthens the credibility immensely. It wasn't a trick of the light or just one person panicking.
So they sat there, he said, frozen in fear, utterly unable to move, couldn't think of a way out, convinced they were going to die.
Pure terror.
The creature just stood there, motionless, observing them, but they could distinctly hear it breathe, a sound suggesting, quote, huge lungs.
Wow. The sound of breathing, that makes it so real.
And the scale. He kept emphasizing it. I still can't get over how massive it was. I keep using the word massive as that's all I can think of to describe it. They felt like sitting ducks, totally helpless.
I can only imagine.
After what must have felt like forever, the creature simply turned around and walked deeper into the forest.
No.
Left. Yeah. And that question the employee asked him later, can you imagine what might have happened if my friend and I left our camp in different directions, looking for firewood in the dark? That really hits home. The terror, the sheer luck, maybe.
Absolutely. The psychological impact is just stark. Total paralysis, convinced of death, that's existential terror.
Yeah.
Facing something unknown, massive, seemingly in control.
Yeah. Feeling like sitting ducks.
And the creature's intent, it's unanswered, isn't it? Was it just watching, assessing, curious maybe, in some non-human way?
It's departure, non-aggressive, just turning and walking away. It offers no clear answer, but it suggests maybe a measured presence, not immediate predator mode.
Which is an intriguing theme in some cryptid encounters, that lack of aggression despite apparent power. And yeah, the fire. Critical. Kept them together, maybe acted as a barrier, a light source. Huge survival decision, maybe without even realizing it.
So the creature left, but the experience, it left this indelible mark, a psychic wound, way deeper than any physical injury.
I can believe it.
Neither boy slept after it left. First light, they broke camp like lightning, climbed the nearest high point, somehow found landmarks on their map, and made it back to civilization.
Incredible they found their way out after that.
Thrilled, obviously, but also just mentally and emotionally exhausted. And the experience, it had such a profound effect. Neither has ever returned to Philmont or even New Mexico.
Oh, yeah, total avoidance.
The man revealed, and this is powerful, the whole experience from our trip, everything we thoroughly enjoyed up to that point has been, for the most part, forgotten. Or nego, replaced is a better word.
Replaced by the terror.
Yeah. The confusion and fear, compounded with being lost so far from home, made us want to repress what happened. He and his friend never talked about it, never told anyone. Until this conversation 12 years later.
That repression speaks volumes.
And his friend. He doesn't get out that much anymore, prefers family, work. While the man telling the story, he still hunts, but he's going on a solo elk hunt in Idaho with a guide, taking precautions now.
That's a clear, long-term psychological impact. Repression, avoidance, the lifestyle shift for the friend. It wasn't just a scary story, it was life-altering. Changed their relationship with the wilderness, with the unknown, maybe their whole sense of safety, and finally sharing it after 12 years. It shows how important finding that sympathetic, believing ear is, especially someone with shared experience, like the employee's own sighting and Philmont history. a need for validation, processing, that just wasn't there before.
And the contrast in coping is interesting too. One retreats, the other continues but cautiously.
Yeah,
How people integrate these extreme paradigm-shattering events, it varies so much.
it really does.
And then there's that truly remarkable coincidence the narrator points out. The store employee who heard the story, he'd also been to Philmont Boy Scout Ranch.
Get out, seriously.
Seriously, what are the odds? Random conversation in Florida. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is there a pattern, a specific energy to that place, a thin spot?
That coincidence is incredibly compelling. It goes beyond chance. It points towards that idea we see in parapsychology, geographical imprints, thin spots where the veil seems more permeable, or where specific energies attract certain phenomena.
Like it's not just random incidents, but part of a larger pattern tied to specific places.
Possibly. Or maybe even resonance people who've had experiences might be more attuned or even draw similar experiences. It's a powerful reminder our perception of the natural world and what might be in it might be far more limited than we assume.
Okay. From the vast, untamed wilderness and its inhabitants, we're moving now into the more intimate but equally unsettling domain of haunted homes, spectral residents.
Okay, shifting gears again. Haunted houses.
Our next story starts with a couple. They move into a new rental home, start doing yard work, landscaping. Specifically, they focus on this overgrown rose bush next to the pool.
Right, typical new homeowner stuff. Taming the yard.
Exactly. But just as the girlfriend, clippers in hand, is about to start cutting them back, she feels this inexplicable, really powerful urge to stop and go inside the house.
Stop, out of the blue.
Yeah, and once she's inside, the desire to cut or dig up the roses, completely gone. She just accepted them as they were. Their fate was sealed.
But the boyfriend.
He also felt an urge to leave them alone, but he was on a mission. He kept pruning until he finished the job.
So one listened to the feeling, one didn't.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this is a fascinating example, isn't it? A spirit's lingering attachment to something physical, that roses and its ability to subtly influence the living.
It really is. The girlfriend's strong, intuitive shift, that complete change of heart, contrasted with the boyfriend's action, even though he hesitated. That difference is critical. It sets the stage for what sounds like a very targeted haunting.
Initially protective, maybe not overtly mean.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Suggests memory, emotional connection transcending physical presence, manifesting as this subtle, powerful influence, like a telepathic nudge from beyond.
And here's where the puzzle pieces just clicked into place. Turn that feeling into something validated. Later, they learned from the landlord.
Okay.
His wife had died in that house, and she loved those roses. Spent many hours a day taking care of them. They were her babies.
Oh, wow. There it is.
The girlfriend then realized, with chilling certainty, that her sudden urge to stop, that change of heart, it likely came directly from the deceased wife.
That validation is powerful. Turns an abstract feeling into this concrete emotional connection from the grave. It underscores that deep bond people can have with homes, possessions that persists after death. It's not generic, it's specific, emotional.
So the girlfriend heeded the warning. The boyfriend, his transgression of pruning the beloved roses, that led to much more direct, unsettling consequences.
In escalation, let's hear it.
Following the rose pruning, a whole series of strange, disruptive things started happening inside the house, especially after sundown.
Okay. Classic timing.
Overhead room lights turning off and on by themselves, totally unresponsive to switches, even when they changed the bulbs.
Electrical anomalies. Common poltergeist sign.
The room temperature would just plummet or skyrocket, made the boyfriend so uncomfortable he often had to leave the room.
Temperature fluctuations, yep. Another classic.
He heard things, felt phantom touches, and even, alarmingly, felt someone hit him during his sleep.
Whoa. Physical contact, that's a serious escalation.
And his personal stuff, sunglasses, car keys, constantly went missing, only to reappear later in weird places.
Object displacement.
Okay.
This is textbook poltergeist activity, but it sounds like it was all aimed at him.
Exactly. Classic poltergeist. But crucially, specifically, targeting the boyfriend. The girlfriend experienced nothing.
That selective nature is powerful. Reinforces the idea of a spirit acting with specific intent. Expressing anger, maybe, over the roses. She had a very personal bone to pick with him.
The couple definitely concluded he was being harassed, targeted because of what he did. When they talked to the landlord about this classic poltergeist material,
Did he know about it?
he had no explanation, said nothing like that had ever happened to him before or after his wife died.
Okay, that really strengthens the link. It wasn't the house generally. It was a specific response to the rose incident.
So, realizing his transgressions were the cause, the couple took the hint, moved out. Probably pretty
I
quickly.
imagine so.
The narrator noted, kind of chillingly, apologizing didn't seem to matter at that point. The departed wanted nothing to do with him.
Wow. Implies an intelligent, reactive entity. Clear agenda, punishment, expulsion, and the refusal to accept apologies suggests a deep sense of violation, a lingering well, a stark reminder that sometimes harmless actions can trigger powerful reactions from unseen forces tied to places or objects through emotion.
Yeah, and this theme, spirits and emotional attachments, especially to roses, it's powerful. The narrator shared another quick story, a beautiful one, from a tour guest. A woman living in Staten Island, New York, doing yard work. She approaches this tiny, struggling rose stem and suddenly smells this very strong perfume scent.
Perfume? From where?
Nowhere. Distinct, like an older woman over 70 might wear. No neighbors around, no source. She took it as a clear sign. Leave the roses alone, like a telepathic message.
Okay.
Months later, mid-October, way past blooming season in NYC, she finds the most perfect and beautiful rose blooming among dead leaves.
Out of season.
Wow, she believed it was the previous owner, a grateful spirit, thanking her for saving her roses.
That's lovely. It reinforces the theme, but shows the other side, right? Benevolent interaction. Gratitude instead of anger. The disembodied perfume, the anomalous rose, concrete sensory manifestations. It shows the whole spectrum of postmortem interaction.
So back to our original couple. They escaped the rose spirit's wrath, hopefully, moved to a new home. But as they discovered, the new place was not that nice.
Oh, no. More activity.
Not just continued, it expanded significantly. This time, the girlfriend was included. So was her daughter. And apparently, everyone who spent the night in this house came away with their own stories. And lots of them.
Okay, so this is different. A shift from targeted to generalized haunting suggests maybe a different entity or multiple entities.
Right.
Less about a specific grievance, more tied to the location itself.
Yeah, like the house itself is a hotbed, affecting everyone. Or maybe, could the couple themselves, now sensitized, be attracting it?
That's a possibility, too. An active environment, definitely. So what kind of stories came out of this new place?
Let's dive in. First up, dolls in disarray. Classic, but creepy.
Uh-oh. Haunted dolls.
The daughter collected porcelain dolls, displayed them on her dresser inside her closet. One particular doll seemed active. Once, while the daughter and two friends were watching, the doll fell over all by itself, lay motionless for a while before it sat back up.
That back up. Okay, that's not just falling, that's animation.
Right. Caused the three girls to run out screaming, understandably. More than once, the daughter heard this distinct thumping noise from the closet, opened it, found all of her dolls on the floor below the dresser, well, all but one,
And the one left.
still on the dresser, looking back at her.
Chilling. Did it push the others off? That implies intent, malice maybe,
Yeah.
or wanting to be singled out, dominance. Definitely preys on childhood fears.
Totally. Okay, next. The soccer ball and the girl in the dress. This one unfolds in stages.
All right.
One night, the daughter's just dribbling a soccer ball down the hall, kicks it into her mom's bedroom. As she rounds the corner, she sees the ball by the sliding glass door, but then she sees something else in the reflection of the glass.
What?
A girl wearing a dress. Daughter noted she herself was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, so not her reflection.
Okay, apparition and a reflection. That's interesting.
And the reflection girl bent over, touched the soccer ball, and ruled it out to her.
Whoa. Interaction with the physical object through the reflection?
Yeah.
That's a highly unusual, playful, but undeniable presence.
The daughter told our narrator, not her mom. Why? Because her mom just chuckled in disbelief. Thought she was pulling your leg.
The skepticism often seems to invite more direct proof.
Oh, it did. The very next morning, the mom was up all night, couldn't sleep, clearly disturbed. She told the narrator that someone was in the corner of her bedroom by the sliding glass door, flicking the vertical blinds all night, only a foot away from her head.
Flicking the blinds all night.
Yeah. She looked, saw no one, windows closed, no draft, no other blinds in the house moved. She felt it was like a child trying to aggravate her, flicking her finger against the vinyl blinds and saying, "You still don't believe I'm here?"
Wow, that is incredibly specific, targeted, irritating,
No.
and directly connected to the daughter's sighting location, the sliding glass door, and seemingly responding directly to her disbelief.
Right. A deliberate taunt.
It shows an intelligence acutely aware of human thoughts, emotions,
Mhm.
actively seeking acknowledgement, maybe mischievous, maybe just persistent, a direct challenge to her skepticism. Very personal, unsettling.
Now for something truly uniquely bizarre, a disappearing snake.
A disappearing snake. Okay, that's a new one.
Boyfriend's cleaning the garage one afternoon, finds this bright yellow and red striped snake, alive, in his hand.
Okay, cool find. Unusual colors.
He calls others over to see it. While they're all watching, gathered close, the snake vanished right before our eyes.
Vanished from his hand.
Poof! Gone. Our narrator was closest, emphasizes. No pop sound, no flash, no residue. It just vanished from his hand like it blinked out of this reality.
Multiple witnesses
Huh.
holding it, and it just dematerializes.
Yeah.
That is exceptionally rare and compelling. Dematerialization, witnessed collectively, defies known physics. It goes way beyond typical haunting stuff. Suggests an entity capable of manipulating matter or perception in profound ways.
Like an illusion. Or did it actually blink out?
That's the question, isn't it? A momentary slip through a dimensional veil, a deliberate alteration of reality. That phrase, blinked out of this reality, it opens up huge questions about how stable our reality actually is. Suggests maybe a non-human intelligence showing off. Displaying power. Deeply unsettling.
And then there's the encounter with the tall, bald-looking entity.
Okay.
Daughter and her friends are feeling sick one day, generally unwell. A few minutes before she talks to the narrator, something happens. Someone entered her bedroom through the closed door.
Through the door. Like a ghost.
Yeah, all three girls saw it, described it as tall and bald-looking, but crucially, didn't appear to look human exactly like us.
Not human. Okay. And it came through a closed door. Non-physical or multidimensional maybe? What happened next?
After it turned around and left the room again through the closed door, something equally remarkable happened. All three girls felt better, felt fine the rest of the night.
Whoa. So feeling sick before, feeling fine after, that's fascinating. Suggests a direct interaction affecting their physical state, their energy.
Like it took something, or its presence caused the sickness?
It could be either. Drawing energy, or its presence itself causing a physical malaise that lifted when it left. This entity seems very different from the child spirits. Hints at another dimension to the haunting. Maybe more alien? Non-human intelligence evokes some shadow person reports or even some alien encounter descriptions, suggests a broader range of visitors.
Then the house also had these unsettling sounds. A laughing woman and wood snapping.
More auditory phenomena.
More than one person heard a woman laughing. Hallway outside the bedrooms. More than once, late at night, distinctly an older woman, not the young girl from the reflection.
Okay, so possibly another distinct entity. Laughing, amused, playful, just making noise.
Separately, a store employee sleeping on the couch woke up one night, heard someone snapping pieces of firewood behind the house.
Outside, okay.
But then the sounds mysteriously entered the dining room without someone first opening the sliding glass door.
It came inside, through the door.
Yeah. And the employee swore someone walked right by her to enter the kitchen, terrified. Called out the homeowner's name, no answer. Covered her head with a blanket. Pure primal fear.
That is terrifying. The wood snapping, moving through a solid barrier. Classic poltergeist sign. Demonstrates mastery over physical barriers, clear movement, palpable intrusion. The terror is understandable. Are the laughing woman and the wood snapping connected? Or separate entities in the same active house? Hard to say.
But amidst all this unsettling stuff, there was also something profoundly poignant. The story of the confused girl and her family offered resolution, peace.
Okay, a different tone here.
The daughter and her friends again approached the narrator about this confused girl who kept appearing in her room, distinct from the soccer ball girl. This ghost girl kept asking, sadly bewildered, "I'm waiting for my family to come home. I don't understand what has taken them so long."
Oh, that's heartbreaking. A trapped spirit, maybe unaware of her own state.
Seems like it. The next evening, the daughter has this dream, finds herself in a vivid waiting room, like a hospital. And in the dream, she learns the ghost girl's family. They were already dead, waiting for her in that waiting room.
Wow. A dream communication providing the answer.
A couple of nights later, the ghost girl reappears. The daughter, with incredible bravery, shares what she learned in the dream. Then, the narrator says, the unexpected happened.
What?
The ghost girl's family appeared in her bedroom, right beside the ghost girl. They all smiled back at her and then faded away.
They were reunited and moved on.
That was the last time any of them were seen.
That is profoundly poignant and ultimately benevolent. A stark contrast to the other events. A trapped spirit, unaware, and a sensitive living person acting as this conduit for resolution.
Yeah.
The waiting room in the dream. a compelling glimpse into maybe a spiritual limbo, an afterlife transition point. And the climax, the family appearing, smiling, fading together, suggests a successful reunion. Peace, closure. Not just for the spirits, but for the living witness too. Offers hope, a different perspective. Amazing.
Truly. So these ghostly residents, they represent this whole range, don't they? Unsettling, aggressive, playful, poignant, healing. But the house's strangeness wasn't limited to human or even humanoid spirits.
What else?
Now we move into really wild territory, high strangeness, what looks like a backyard alien encounter caught on camera.
Backyard alien, seriously.
These events happened during that 5-day spree of paranormal activity at the house, so the environment was already highly charged, receptive.
Right, the context is important.
One evening, the store closed early, backyard barbecue, attended by other researchers, friends, and employees.
A gathering of like-minded people.
After dinner, everyone goes inside, slideshow presentation by one of the researchers, a mini presentation about UFOs and aliens, Q&A session.
So the topic was front and center. Priming the pump, maybe?
Could be. As the sun set, the group, now thoroughly focused on the unusual, went back outside. For sky watching, using our night vision goggles.
Okay. Intentional sky watching with specialized gear. The context is critical. Does that collective intent, that focus, create an energetic draw? Invite phenomena? Or just heighten awareness, the ability to detect what's already there?
Good question.
The preceding 5-day spree definitely suggests the environment was active, receptive, maybe acting like a beacon, raises that possibility that our conscious focus can influence what manifests.
So this deliberate search, fueled by collective intent, aided by technology, it led to something truly unexpected, stunning, captured.
How?
After sky watching, they took a group photo in the backyard darkness by putting a camera up to the night vision goggles.
Using the NVG's infrared capability. Clever.
Yeah, lets them take photos in the near-infrared light spectrum, which is crucially invisible to humans. And the very first photo, it contained an undeniable two-legged visitor we couldn't see.
Whoa. An invisible figure in the infrared photo.
Clear as day in the photo. Examining it, a distinct figure, what appeared to be a heart-shaped head, standing behind the second person on the left.
Heart-shaped head. Okay, that's specific. And strange.
And get this, that particular person in the photo, he was known to be in touch with a group of extraterrestrials.
Seriously?
So, remarkably, the sighting didn't surprise him, though it stunned the rest of us.
Okay, the use of technology revealing something invisible. That's powerful. Near-infrared is key. Just these entities exist just outside our normal light spectrum, maybe different frequency, different dimension, only glimpsed with tech.
A tantalizing hint of what might be sharing our space.
Exactly. And the description, two-legged, heart-shaped head, and as we'll hear, 4 fingers, provides concrete, if unusual, details and different reactions. His nonchalance versus everyone else being stunned highlights the role of belief, prior experience. Does a prepared mind invite encounter? A form of consciousness coupling.
As if that wasn't enough. Several other photos show the being's left hand, with 4 fingers visible over the shoulder of the man.
4 fingers. Okay, that's a very specific non-human biological detail, seen in multiple photos.
Yes. And then, using the flash on a different camera, they captured 2 large orbs, described as bright, solid red color, floating close to each other near the group.
Wow. So infrared evidence, corroborated by distinct biological details in multiple frames, and additional visible light evidence of unexplained energy forms.
That's a lot.
The consistent 4-fingered hand detail across photos is significant, moves it from a single anomaly to a tangible, physically detailed observation of a non-human form. And this multimodal evidence, infrared visual, distinct biology, plus the orbs on another camera, layers upon layers. Are the orbs, drones, energy, smaller entities, is complex, multifaceted, points strongly towards an intelligent, non-terrestrial presence.
And this incredible encounter, it didn't just leave photos behind, it left a very literal, undeniable physical mark.
Oh, yeah.
The daughter woke up one morning with a strange handprint on her body.
A handprint.
What's truly remarkable and chilling, this handprint looked familiar to everyone that saw the photos from the backyard BBQ, explicitly linking it to the 4-fingered entity in the infrared photos.
No way. The print matched the 4-fingered hand in the photos.
That's what they said. And the print stayed visible on her body for a couple of days before disappearing completely.
That is maybe the most compelling piece of evidence here, connecting the unseen entity to a physical, tangible effect. The recognition of the print from the photos provides a direct, verifiable link. It suggests an entity capable of physical interaction, leaving a residue, a mark.
It's not just observation, it's
Yep.
contact.
Exactly. Direct physical contact, leaving what some researchers call a biological signature or an energy imprint, persisting for days. It moves beyond observation into direct, undeniable physical interaction, a literal touch from the unknown, profound, almost alarming evidence, pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible.
Wow. Just wow. We have covered an incredible, often mind-bending landscape today, haven't we?
We really have.
From silent figures guarding a ranch, terrifying cryptids in the wilderness, poignant house spirits protecting roses,
The annoyance of poltergeists, lost souls, finding resolution.
and finally, astonishing photographic and physical evidence of an invisible, maybe extraterrestrial visitor leaving its mark. It's been a journey through multiple layers of reality.
And what connects them all, despite how different they seem, is that consistent challenge to our understanding of reality, the profound impact on the witnesses, and that recurring presence of intelligence, agency, operating beyond the human realm.
Yeah. These sources really show that the unseen isn't just a feeling, is it? It can be captured, heard, felt, even leave physical traces.
Absolutely. They represent this breathtaking spectrum of interaction, malevolent, benevolent, personal, technological, all hinting at a much more complex universe than we usually acknowledge.
So, as we've seen today, our world is clearly rich with phenomena that just defy simple explanation. It makes you think. What if our everyday reality, the one we see and touch, is just one thin layer in a much larger, infinitely more complex tapestry?
What other unseen forces, entities, maybe dimensions, might be constantly interacting with us, leaving clues, maybe? If only we learned to look beyond the obvious, listen to that intuition.
And perhaps even trust the unseen evidence that might be all around us.
That is definitely a provocative thought to mull over. Maybe inspires you, the listener, to look a little closer at the world around you. You never know what you might find.